Hey everybody, welcome to What Culture Gaming. Our continued E3 coverage is continuing, and I'm joined by Rachel, I'm Scott, and I'm joined by Josh as well.
Yes.
And today we're going to talk about Microsoft. Now the major thing to talk about here is that a complete lack of exclusives. That's the big major talking point.
That we know of.
It's one of those things where I think they'll probably have spread their money around to secure footage of like Red Dead 2 and I forgot what else I had written down. Or maybe potentially Rocksteady's new game or Borderlands 3. They need stuff to basically open their conference in a strong way. And we've seen them do it before. They once paid Konami to showcase Metal Gear Solid 5 before everybody else. So it kind of gets that grab of like, oh my god, it's associated with them. Because let's face it, they don't have anything right now.
Exactly. PlayStation have a lot of exclusives up their sleeve, and Microsoft are doing pretty well with showing third-party games with the little, on the world's most powerful console. You know, they're getting a lot out of that, and to be fair, they look bloody beautiful on the Xbox One X. So if you get the likes of, if you associate the likes of Red Dead Redemption with your brand, Rocksteady's Superman game, which I think is a good shout because...
If it exists.
Well, Rocksteady are working on, you assume, some kind of superhero game.
Yes.
Sony have their own exclusive superhero game.
Yes.
This Rocksteady game won't be exclusive, but if Microsoft can associate it with their brand, then at least they have something to cling on to.
It'll be weird if like Sony ends up being like the Marvel to Microsoft's DC, because that spells bad things judging by the rest of the world. The only other thing that's going into this that is semi-confirmed if you follow the leaks is the set of Gears of War games. We covered this in a separate video if you guys want to check it out. But basically, Microsoft have 3 Gears games on the docket. It's Gears of War 5, Gears of Royale, because that, why not?
Wonder what that's going to be about.
I know. And a top-down Halo Wars style RTS thing. I kind of hope that's true. I want to see more Gears. It used to be a huge deal in the 2000s.
Yeah,
and,
the RTS is quite interesting, actually. I would maybe play that.
I think, considering like how Halo Wars has its own little pocket of fans, like I've played both of them, and they're both canny, and it's like, you look at like massive games like StarCraft or League of Legends or MOBAs, there's an audience for that, potentially, and they've been exploring Windows 10 capabilities and stuff like that, so they kind of have a little bit of a PC pull. So there is that. There's also Halo 6, which was on the Walmart leak from like 2 months ago or whatever.
I mean, that's pretty much gotta be a thing. If it's not a thing, then it's, it's pretty stupid on Microsoft.
Well, it's meant to be the last part of the new trilogy, the 343 trilogy, because it's like where Halo 5 left off for all 6 people who played through Halo 5 was the Cortana.
I finished Halo 5.
So did I. That's 3 of us here right now. Did you? Oh, all right then, good. The fan base is in.
3 of you?
But that thing ended on that massive cliffhanger of what's going to happen with Cortana. It was a bit.
It's been 3 years since Halo 5. It's the time is now when they've got to come out strong. I think if Microsoft's 2 biggies are still Gears and Halo, Gears is faring much better than Halo is, but there is still obviously a huge fan base there, and we want that to succeed, and they could pull it off.
True.
Halo, a lot of people hate Halo 4, right?
I love Halo 4. I'll be that man.
I'm with you, mate.
Good.
I like Halo 4. Halo 4 was alright. It obviously
alright.
isn't up to the standards of like Bungie's, but like nothing is going to be. It was an alright.
I think it was enough. I think that they didn't take it in maybe as much of an exciting direction as they needed to, and all the retcon stuff with Master Chief. It's a whole thing. But I liked Halo 4 the way that it played. It was fine enough. 5 was just a bit of a mess, and it's one of those things where if Halo 6 is there, it needs to be immaculate. They need to put one hell of a foot forward and be like, and just be confident. They also need to tag on the Master Chief Collection stuff, which they've been revisiting. 343 have vowed to finally make it work after 4 years. But they've said that finally we'll have this massive package of Halo titles, and it'll all be playable, servers will work, and all that jazz, which could be good. It could make for a nice little we've got your fans type thing.
Yeah, we could get back on Halo 2.
Yes, and even though they've already tried that and failed, this time maybe they will. Speaking of things that are kind of failing, Crackdown 3 is hopefully going to be there, I guess.
It has to be there. They have to renew confidence in Crackdown 3, because that thing is just like up in the air. I have no idea what's going on with Crackdown 3. Sometimes it's getting announced that it might be cancelled.
Is it cancelled? Yeah.
Well, we ended up doing a video saying it looks like it's going to be cancelled because it was delayed again until 2019, and there's just so little footage of it. And I mean, the last major talking point was that Terry Crews is involved. He was on the adverts. He was scanned in, and it was like, we've got someone who matters in this. And I mean, bless them and all that. But
not only like a couple hours after we actually put that video up, it was announced that announcement that it had been delayed was false. So it should still be coming. But again, we haven't seen much from it. It's been under the surface for so long.
Giving them the benefit of the doubt, maybe it's been under the surface for so long, so they can be like, hey, don't worry, we've worked on it this whole time. Here's a lovely gameplay demo. All the cloud tech works. all that stuff just works.
You know
it's
what?
fine.
I bloody hope so. I
mean, they
hope so.
They could do with a win because State of Decay didn't light the world on fire. Sea of Thieves was a bit of a mess, and they need something.
That is true.
Somewhere.
But let's face it. So they come out really confident, and they're like, they do a great show on Crackdown 3. Everyone's on board. Halo 6 wins people over. It's coming out this year. Gears 1, 2, and 3. You've got a top-down
on the world's
show,
powerful
Battle
console.
Royale, all on the world's powerful console. That would get you excited for next year and going into the fall.
I can't help but think that the generation is lost to them, but I want to be wowed. Like I'm game for some wowing, is what I'm saying.
What is for sure is they need something this year.
Yes.
That is for sure.
And even if it is Gears of Royale, at least it's their foot in the door.
I hear Battle Royale's pretty in at the minute.
It definitely is. It's definitely a thing to be capitalised on, so why
fair
not?
Fair enough. I mean, we'll all give it a go.
True. The other thing on here is Ori and the Will of the Wisps,
Yes!
which I know you're well hyped for, and I love Blind Forest.
This is why I'm here right now. So I can go. Ori and the Blind Forest was the reason I bought an Xbox One.
No way.
And
it's worth it.
I mean, it's totally worth it. And the sequel, I mean, last year's E3, I was crying. I don't mind admitting that. When that piano came on, I was like,
I think Ori's one of those games that everyone who played it came out on the other end going like, that was so special and gorgeous.
Know anyone who didn't like it.
No, it's never going to be one of their big premiere franchises, but like it should be. It should have that sort of pull where it's like, this is so treasured and treasurable, that it's just gorgeous. The other stuff we've got down here is Cuphead DLC, because initially Studio HMDMC, whatever they're called, Run DMC and Jam Master J announced that there was going to be a bundle of DLC for Cuphead containing 13 more bosses, but we didn't see any more follow-up to that. So that could be a little reminder of, hey, we've got a thing that you like.
Or does it mean Cuphead 2?
Could be rolled at Cuphead 2.
It could be. I mean, yeah, I guess if you have that much content ready to go, you could just release it as a sequel.
They finally nailed the formula now. You know, obviously the first Cuphead went through a lot of development troubles, but now they're up and running. Cuphead 1 was great, I thought.
So good, yeah.
Even if it's...
No, it's great, but it's a little bit too hard for its own good. It's so gorgeous, I just wanted to love it, and it kept punching me in the face, and it wasn't okay.
It's true.
Oh, but it's okay, not to worry. If they at least have the showing for that, it's a very visually distinct thing. It's something that people associate with Xbox One, and they could roll it out and be like, hey, something you love is here. For the love of God, we have something that you love, and it's here.
We keep kind of putting it down on it, being like, oh, they might not have anything we love, but the stuff we've talked through so far, it's all...
We love.
We all love this. We love Cuphead, we love Halo, we love Crackdown.
We certainly used to.
Exactly.
Which rolls into the final point that we have here, which is just that their conference needs to restore faith in the brand.
That's it.
Needs to restore faith in Xbox as a company, because if you actually look at sales stats, the Xbox One is tracking very well. And I think the last thing that I looked at, that more households have an Xbox One in terms of like a household of people will focus on one console, whereas multiple people have PS4s. It just seems like a lot of people, well, a good substantial amount of people will lean towards Xbox, and maybe they have something to lean on in terms of how much the 360 used to dominate. So the basic thing that we come away from is that we just want to see something good.
Yes, please.
I would like nice things. So I kind of think it's all to play for. I think that they're kind of on the back foot, and they have been since pretty much the beginning of the generation. We all remember the 2013 thing and Don Matrick and all the horrible things that they would like us to forget. And Phil Spencer's done a remarkable job getting back in front of stuff, even though he's about to step down. So for me, it's kind of all to play for. I want to see some new stuff. But at the minute, it all seems quite promising. Yeah. So.
You know what? For me, if they come out and they say, oh, we've got Ori, Halo, and Cuphead DLC / Cuphead 2, probably DLC, coming out this year. Great. We've got Rocksteady's Batman game running on the world's most powerful console. Oh,
Superman,
look at this.
Superman.
Oh,
Superman.
Superman.
Unless it is another Batman
might
game.
Be a Batman game. We don't know.
Oh, you heard it here first.
To some degree, there was that thing where Warner Brothers were developing a Suicide Squad game, and then that got cancelled because the movie was so bad. But we know that Warner Brothers and Rocksteady have both had that game engine for like at least 3 years now, or even longer. Obviously, if you go back before Arkham Knight. Something is hopefully there, and if they've managed to tag on some sort of exclusivity window, that would be cool. Not to mention Shadow of the Tomb Raider, like Rise of the Tomb Raider had an exclusivity window as well.
Yeah.
It very much seems up in the air, as you'll see in comparison to the way that we're covering the other conferences. There's way more specific things to say, whereas Microsoft is very much
I think
could go either way.
It's going to be full of surprises,
That's the thing, in a way that could make it more exciting, because
exactly.
we don't know, and they have so much to prove. And like we said, Phil Spencer's doing a really good job at Microsoft to turn that around. And over the past few years, there have been stumbling blocks, but obviously when he reignited like the fire in the heart of Microsoft, it would have taken a few years for what he was working on to come to fruition. And if now is not the time, I think you might be right in that it never will be in this generation for them. It's done. but this could be the time. The time is right. The time is now.
I also think the amount of things that they've canned, like one of the most premier ones being Scalebound. It's like you don't cancel these things, and these things that have like fan investment. If you don't have something else planned along the way. So yeah, it's all going to be revealed at E3. You guys can let us know what you think down in the comments below. Are you ready to re-embrace Xbox, or do you think the generation is lost? I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com.
I've been Josh from WhatCulture.com.
And I've been Rach from WhatCulture.
And we'll catch you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Studio's falling apart.
It is, but we're fine.